Hi, welcome. My name is Angelina and today we are going to be reviewing the K-pop debuts and comebacks for the month of January. This is my first monthly review for the year 2022. I'm really excited. I got my Spotify account back. My voice is somewhat back to normal. Everything just feels right in the world. And I'm ready to get roasted by you guys for having terrible taste in music. But yes, this is my monthly series, which is over a year old by now, like a year and a half, where we take a look at what was released this month and we rank it using my fancy tier ranking system. So I'm going to insert a clip explaining all of that later. But for now, don't forget to like, comment, and share this video with friends you don't have. And you can also go follow me on TikTok, but don't tell anybody that it's me. Keep that shit between us. So I will start with the tier explanations, but if you've been here before, you already know what to expect, then please feel free to skip through, go through the timeline, because this is separated into super fancy segments. But otherwise, let's just get started. Okay, so the tier ranking. Of course, at the top we have Big Booty Bop, and we have Cup of Milk, which are songs that I added to my playlist, but maybe they have a shorter shelf life. I'm trying to remember my own tiers. Which is then followed by Second Gen Vibes. These are songs that if they randomly started playing, I wouldn't skip them. They're songs we casually like. From there, we have our neutral tier. Sorry, below that tier, we fittingly have Grow and Not a Shower, which are songs that I might have really disliked at first, but ended up loving them, either through peer pressure or just sheer repetition. Then we have everyone's favorite tier, YG's Dungeon. These are songs where I would tangibly change something about them. And then of course, Not My Cup of Tea, which are songs that I just wouldn't listen to. The first notable song that was released for the month of January was definitely SM's new supergroup, Got. Specifically, Got the Beat and their song Step Back. Now, this didn't have technically a music video, it had a performance video, and that's usually where I draw the line for where I review specific songs. But this, this was something. We have to talk about it. For a bit of context, this is SM's new rotational group that's going to feature their female artists. So in this, we have Boa, Hyolyn and Enhypen from Girls' Generation, Wendy and Sugi from Red Velvet, and Karina and Winter from aespa. And honestly, it's a lip sync paradise. Kind of cut that out. I just personally didn't understand why they had a performance music video when they filmed the performance just like they would a music video. Do you know what I mean? For the production value, they could have at least gotten the lyrics right. SM slander aside, maybe I cut that part out, maybe I didn't. If there's an awkward cut, please understand. But in terms of the song itself, how do I feel about it? I think you guys can kind of guess. So I would describe it as both empty and noisy all at the same time, both minimalistic and quite busy at the same time. So I guess kind of typically 4th Gen SM. I could for sure picture, NCT coming out with a song like this. However, this is definitely not a song that I would personally listen to. Personally, if there was a K-pop hell tier, which we could change it to we won't do it. Maybe a K-pop hell? It's not my cup of tea. Now, I know this definitely got a lot of backlash because of the lyrical content, and I made a video about that, so you can go check it out after you're done with this. This will, however, in the coming year, be part of one of those 2022 K-pop songs that are just the worst. You know how I always hated Scientists and Eternal Sunshine and On the Ground? I think we can put Step Back into there. Next up, we have a debut by Kep1er. So this is spelled with a 1, but obviously the 1 is an L. And this is a temporary 9-member group under Wake One and Swing Entertainment. So they have a 2.5-year-ish contract, and they were formed through Mnet's show Girls Planet 999. So we have like this whole universe extraterrestrial theme here. Kep1er, and apparently the 1 in the name represents the 9 members coming together as one. Though from a marketing point of view, I think it makes a lot of sense to put a 1 in the name, because if you just Google Kep1er, what do you think's gonna show up? Fucking astrology. No, it's not astrology. What's the word I'm looking for? Help me. So though the 1 sounds super poetic, 9 people coming together as one, it does help with search results. So their debut song, Wadada, is from their album that is also very fittingly titled First Impact. And it talks about running towards your dreams while using words like supersonic and hypertonic. I'm kidding. I definitely thought the song was very catchy, but I did not like it at first, let me tell you. Here's basically my train of thought when I first heard the song. The beginning part, I was like, I don't really care about it. You know, that kind of soft part in the beginning, I wasn't really a fan of it. But then Dayeon's part comes on, and I thought, you know, the energy was incredible, and I really liked it. But I just really wasn't in love with the rest of the song, so I was like ready to kind of write it off, but I just kept getting drawn to it. Here's kind of the issue I had with the song, shall we say. It just felt like there were so many different concepts into one, and it couldn't really decide where it was going, because at times I felt like I was listening to like a girl crush song, and then at times I felt like it was a lot more cute. But then at times it felt like it was more teen crush. So it really couldn't decide where it was going. But then, you know, at the end of it all, it is a very catchy song and I did really enjoy it. Though I don't know what I would classify this song as. Because, you know, you have the whole hand-heart choreography where it's a lot more cute. But then you do have those girl crush elements. Which usually, if you mix those elements together, you get teen crush. But it feels like those elements are all separate. So it doesn't necessarily make teen crush, but you have those, do you know what I mean? Anyways, so because of my initial apprehension, I'm gonna go ahead and put this into Grower Not a Shower. So now we have Uptension's Crazy About You from their 10th mini album, Novella. According to Soompi, this is a pop track with electric guitar and orchestra sounds. I actually started watching Pulgasal with my friend, so I know one of the members is in that, no spoilers. I'm at like episode 7, I think. But if you want to discuss it, we can. This song, as well as the accompanying music video, really touches on the passing of time and regret in regards to a loved one. We see the main art piece that is kind of the focal point in the music video says, "Love makes time pass. Time makes love pass." My interpretation of this is time can go by so quickly when you're in love, but in that same breath, the passing of time is a detriment to love itself. So as time is passing by, love is suffering from that. And the lyrics definitely touch on this, you know, reminiscing about the past. Longing to hold someone again. Even if the world would stop, every last part of me was crazy about you. Crazy About You is definitely one of those songs where in the first few seconds, I was really hoping that the song wouldn't disappoint me because I was really enjoying the direction it was going. And I have to say, I really did appreciate this song a lot more than I had anticipated. I'm a sucker for love songs or songs that kind of talk about what could have been. Those bittersweet songs definitely get to me. And I would definitely say the song is on par with that. But the thing about this song is that it did end up on my playlist, but then it didn't last very long. Like I listened to it maybe once. So I definitely love the potential of this song, but I think it's more situational. So I think I would put it into second gen vibes because if it randomly popped up, I don't think I would skip it. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it into second gen vibes. Moving on to P1 Harmony, who released their 3rd mini album, Disharmony Find Out, with the title track, Do It Like This. According to Soompi, this is an urban pop style song with a catchy hook and expresses P1 Harmony's ambition to explore a new world. I have to say, I immediately liked this song, and there's not much else to say. It was really catchy. The killing point in the choreography was really cool. You know, you had one member kind of punching the air and then everyone else following along, so it fit the theme of Do It Like This. Needless to say, this goes straight into Cup of Milk. It's definitely a song I recommend listening to, and I will say P1 Harmony is for sure on my radar. Their last couple of songs have been catchy and intriguing to me, but with Do It Like This, I'm definitely excited to hear what else they come out with. Next up, we have Woozi's Ruby, a rock-based song from his mixtape. So the song uses ruby to be kind of an analogy, a comparison to a lot of things. Ruby being the color he turns around his love interest, the color of her lips. He compares ruby to an apple, a forbidden fruit. And she's also apparently got the ruby, which I don't really know what that means. Feel free to clarify in the comments. But I definitely feel those rock vibes and the passion. Let me tell you, when he says, "Pass me a Coke Zero to calm down," I'll admit the song is very catchy. But I would say I feel a little bit more neutral about it. So for me, I'm definitely going to put it into It Exists. Now let's talk about Woo's digital single, Catch the Stars. This song talks about determination, about something being just a little bit out of reach but still wanting to go on that adventure. So let's catch the stars because we're meant to be. It's honestly a very magical song with a universe theme, though we did mix in a random ass school concept into it, but I'm not above pretending things don't exist. Would we say this has retro vibes, 70s vibes, maybe even some 80s, but like dare I say this has 90s vibes? I don't know if I'm biased because I personally predicted that 90s inspired songs are going to be the rage this year. But I don't know, I'm feeling the 90s vibes. I'm just trying to justify the 90s vibes. We also have like a little guitar moment. I'm not too sure, let me know, because I'm here, I'm feeling it all. Regardless, I feel like the retro nature of the song is not too overwhelming. I do have a few favorite parts of the song, so definitely the chorus and the ay ya 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 part. And the thing is, I was ready to put this into Big Booty Bop. I don't know what I was feeling that night, but it was just the magical vibes was getting to me. It just made me feel so happy when I was listening to it. But then like I put it on my playlist and just like Uptension's Crazy About You, I listened to it once and then I was like, oh, I took it off my playlist. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it into second gen vibes just because if it played, I wouldn't skip it. But I wouldn't be surprised if the song climbs its way up. I was gonna make a heart reference. That doesn't make sense. The galaxy of my brain. What? Now we have WJSN's subunit Chocome, who came out with a song called Super Yuppers. So this is from their second mini album, and the song basically talks about always being there and always saying yes. If TikTok found this, they'd be like, no. Something about psychology. You're not there to do emotional labor for your friends. Are you ever like so convinced of things you hear on TikTok and then like you never confide in your friends of anything because you're like, oh my God, they're not supposed to do emotional labor for me. They should never be there for me because you like really take that shit to heart. In context, this is like a superhero song, you know, Super Yuppers. My name is Super Yuppers, and it fits in with the music video where they're dressed as superheroes. But I would say it has a very distinct 80s sound to it. But I don't hate it because it's also like super fun and super quirky, and I find that so incredibly refreshing. Even just within the title, Super Yuppers, it feels like a little bit nonsensical, which just fits into the whole quirky nature of everything. I really like it. Obviously very second gen, very orange caramel-esque, but that comparison has been probably made 1,000 times. Needless to say, I think second gen vibes is a good place to put this song. Alexa made her comeback with Tattoo. According to the music video description, this song explores a new vulnerability and marks the return of the human Alexa that originated with last year's release of Extra, but this time with the AI questioning the complicated human emotions that it obtained just like a tattoo. I find that very interesting because Alexa obviously debuted with a very AI concept, right? It's interesting how they justify the more quote-unquote normal songs by saying it's the human version of Alexa. They took on that AI concept and they're like, we're not budging. We're not budging from this. We have an explanation for everything. I like it. Just like how its lyrics speak to the juxtaposition of pain and longing, Tattoo includes a hard-hitting bass infused with a romantic chord progression, leaving a soft yet powerful feeling that mirrors the sometimes contrasting emotions of heartbreak. I just want to say funny how I didn't get a press release this time around. I got a press release for Extra, maybe because I put Extra in Kpop Hell. I'm sorry. I just want to formally apologize. Please keep sending me press releases. This is why I could never interview an idol. You know, I get those CC'd emails. So-and-so artist is having a comeback and is available for interviews. Can you imagine? Like, yeah. I awkwardly 6 months ago put your song into Kpop Hell and shit. As for Tattoo, I definitely streamed it. It's for sure a grower. The first time I listened to it, admittedly, I wasn't in love with it, but I was excited for it. And I just kept being drawn into it to the point where it did end up on my playlist. And I'm not saying that to get onto the PR list again, but this song definitely goes into grower, not a shower as well. Moving on to Enhypen and their title track, Blessed Cursed, from their repackaged album Dimension Answer. So this song is described as being a hybrid hip-hop track meshing elements of 70s hard rock. Now, I definitely feel the rock elements, but like, would I describe it as 70s? You know, this is no Paradise by the Dashboard Light. That was the only reference I have, don't at me. For me, I was definitely feeling a little more early 2000s, but I don't know. This song is about thinking that one is blessed only to realize that they are actually cursed. And the one lyric that stands out is, luxury draped on my body, blinding me like a blue pill. Tell me, do I get blessed or do I get cursed? So let's talk about that, because I believe that's a reference to the Matrix, right? The blue pill versus the red pill. And yes, I had to Google it because I've never seen it. From what I understand, the red pill and the blue pill is the difference between the choice of learning something unsettling that could change your life or staying happy in your ignorance. And the music video as well, I don't know if you noticed, switched a lot between, mostly red settings and blue settings. So let me know what you think of that. I find stans, they know right away. If you're a fan of that group, you know right away. You'll be like, this member said at 7 minutes and 30 seconds in this particular video that this song is about fucking overcoming hardships. I don't know. And you're wrong. So let me know. As for where I'd place this song, I definitely think it sounds really cool. Again, I would say early 2000s pop punk. So I would put it into second gen vibes, because if it started playing, I definitely wouldn't skip it. It sounds really cool. I could for sure picture this song climbing its way higher. Hyolyn came out with Laying Low featuring Jooyoung. Based on the lyrics, it seems this song talks about toxic love, living for someone, but they're really a bad habit to you. And it's honestly just so sultry and so sexy. And honestly, the choreography really takes the cake. I don't even know if I can show it. So this time around, she had Nicole Kirkland choreograph this dance. She also choreographed CC and Bae. And I would say this is probably one of the hardest. Not only does she do the splits, I mean, she fucking does the splits on all of them, but she does like this upside down, legs in the air slap move, which apparently was very painful. And I'm not gonna lie, based on the teasers alone, I was so excited. Like, just the sound of it, I had already anticipated that I would like it. And I did really end up liking it, but I'm still going to give it Cup of Milk because I just don't know that I would die for this song. Do you know what I mean? Now we have Momoland and their collaboration with the Natti Natasha with Yummy Yummy Love. Now, not going to lie, I was like craving, anticipating, at the edge of my seat, waiting for this comeback, because I was like, this is gonna be amazing. And I do only know 2 songs by Natti Natasha, but I love those 2 songs. So I was just like, I was really excited. However, I'm not really sure how I would describe this sound. Like, should we say it's more 70s, like definitely a little bit groovy? We have a roller skate theme in the music video as well. But definitely retro and groovy, but it's not really my cup of tea. It's not something I'm really drawn to. So for me, I'm gonna go ahead and put it into not my cup of tea. I was just hoping for a song that I'd really want to dance to and a little bit less skibbity-bee-bop-bop-boo, though the vocals were definitely very nice. Let's talk about OnlyOneOf's Skinz from their 4th mini album, Instinct Part 2. Part 2, obviously following part 1, but I did want to point that out because it does feel very reminiscent of Libido. Just from the thumbnail alone, I can already see that similarity, though the description of Skinz does seem quite different. It doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter whether you're black, white, Hispanic, Asian, male, or female. I'm saying that your mere skin doesn't matter, all that matters is you. And the song kind of digs into the notion of showing what's behind the mask, showing what's underneath your skin. Taking off what's false because we're all withering away anyways. I would say it has a very intense sound, even more so than Libido, while also being quite minimalistic. But again, this isn't really something I would listen to, so I'm gonna go ahead and put it into not my cup of tea as well. Moving on to Fromus's 9 comeback with DM from their 4th mini album, Midnight Guest. According to the description of their music video, this pop song portrays the excitement of breaking free and the feelings of a racing heart from confessing one's feelings to their crush. The track paints a picture of a bright city night and a sense of love as it first begins to grow through a sentimental chord progression and a funky bass line. And I'd have to agree that both the music video and the song do a really amazing job at painting that picture, that very specific picture of a bright city night. It's quite dreamy and the vocals are beautiful as well. It honestly reminds me of Wekimeki Siesta, but a little bit more powerful, but maintaining that uplifting feeling. Though I do have high praise for this song, I will admit I do feel a little bit more neutral about it. I appreciate the concept, but in terms of a song that I would listen to, I'm not too sure. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it into It Exists. Next up, we have Yena and her solo debut with Smiley featuring Bibi. Now, I did follow the teasers of all of this quite intensely because I saw one of the teasers and the instrumental in it sounded like the hyperpop song of my dreams. So I was so excited. But then I saw another teaser and I was like, okay, this doesn't, what? As you guys all know, I love Game Boy by 17. So if it's a hyperpop K-pop song, a K-pop, hyperpop, I thought I could find something cute. That did not sound cute. So if I can find something similar, I'm totally on board, and I was so excited. But then I ended up hearing the actual song. It was definitely more early 2000s pop rock, I would say. A little bit light on the rock, but I could definitely picture this in an early 2000s movie. So comment down below which movie it is, because I can't think of one right off the top of my head, but let me know. So I did have to mourn the hyperpop song that never was, but I did end up really liking the song anyways. It's really cute, and the premise of the music video is that she's a superhero that spreads hearts and smileys to people to make them happy. Like, she travels to random ass places and like sings and dances for them and makes people happy. It's honestly very noble. Go Smiley, Yena. But every great story has an antagonist, and that is Bibi to this story. And she kind of makes people sad, and then Yena loses some of her strength, but then a kid comes along and gives her a smiley. I've kind of forgot, but she's trying her darndest to bring happiness to people. But yeah, I really liked it, so I'm gonna give it a cup of milk, and I suggest you listen to the song as well if you want something very uplifting, very fun. Let's talk about BamBam Slow-Mo from his mini album B. According to Soompi, this song combines hip-hop drum beats over an indie bass line and pop top line. I don't know what that means. I would personally just describe it as like very vibey and dreamy as hell. If I had a playlist that was titled like Just Vibes, this would be in there for sure. My interpretation of the lyrics is basically falling for someone to the point that you start becoming one. And it starts to feel like time is slowing down. Needless to say, I did really appreciate this song, and it did make it onto my playlist, but again, it was one of those songs where I listened to it maybe once or twice and then I took it off of my playlist. So we're gonna put it into second gen vibes. I will say, however, it does sound super familiar. Let me know if you can think of anything. Next up, we have Chronograph by Victon from their third single album. According to Soompi, this song has a rhythmical guitar and rich synth brass sounds. Again, definitely hearing some early 2000s sounds here. And I can't help but feel like I've heard this song before. The lyrics talk about how time just doesn't move like it used to anymore. How a minute can feel like a second with someone they love, and how they just keep on spinning. Like a chronograph. As for where I'd rank it, it's not really my favorite, so I'm gonna go ahead and put it into not my cup of tea. Now we have Moonbyul's Lunatic from her solo album Sequence. Described by Soompi as a house genre song, which expresses the feelings of a couple in a relationship that started off with the same amount of affection for one another, but eventually became more one-sided. At first listen, I swear to God, this sounds so familiar, and I can't quite put my finger on it. So I'm gonna play the song, and then I'm gonna try singing the song that sounds familiar. And whoever can guess what the fuck I'm on about, kudos to you. I feel like I'm inventing that. Maybe it's not familiar. New song though? Otherwise, as funky as it is, I'm not really drawn to this type of song, so I'm gonna go ahead and put it into not my cup of tea. Next up, we have Devil by Changmin from his second mini album of the same name.
Just let it rain.
Really, the only SM vibes that I'm getting from this is within like the vocal editing, but like, you know, surprise, surprise. But what I really wanted to point out is the fact that like when the song started playing, I shit you not, I wasn't watching the music video, it was just kind of playing in the background. I thought it was like a Euphoria ad. Does this not sound like the theme song for Euphoria? Like, does this not sound like a Labyrinth song? Now, I'm not too sure what he's going on about in this song because it's like, you know, it's talking about hardships and then Kwangya. Maybe some things should just stay with us. I get it. I totally get it. It's like so much fun to hear Kwangya everywhere. But it's like, is it really that fun and quirky and cool and original if like literally everyone's fucking singing about Kwangya? I don't know. That being said, I really don't like the Euphoria theme song, but I'm finding a lot of really interesting things within this song. I don't hate this song because I do think it's pretty new and interesting. So for me, I'm going to put this into It Exists. High Key made their debut with Athletic Girl. We need to talk about this because it's so ridiculous that I like it. Do I feel like this song is somehow calling me fat? Maybe. Do I also feel like it's celebrating the fact that I can bench press 50 pounds? Maybe not. Maybe. Here's the thing. If we look into the lyrics of this song, like, what are they talking about? Like, there's just this amalgamation of buzzwords. This song is just so ridiculous that it's good. Like, I'm Athletic Girl. I love it. It's great. There's no doubt that this is a weird song. I'm not, you know, we're not going to skate past that fact. We're not gonna It's weird, okay? But like in a so bad it's good way. Like without the ridiculous lyrics, where would this song be? So for that reason, I'm going to go ahead and put this song into Grower Not a Shower. Let's talk about Yuju's solo with Play from her debut album Wreck. So if you don't remember, Yuju is actually a former member of G-Friend. And according to Seungbi, she participated in writing and composing this song, which is a medium-tempo pop track that expresses the differences in emotions in a relationship where one person considers it play and another person considers it sincere. Now, the music video is absolutely stunning if we take a look at some of these scenes. The colors, everything, very top-notch. But honestly, very solid debut. I would put this straight into second gen vibes. I wouldn't skip it. And in fact, I do think it has the potential to climb its way up. MIRAE made their comeback with Marvelous from their third mini album of the same name. Again, according to Seungbi, this is a dance pop genre track with a catchy melody. The lyrics include different perspectives from Earth and from Mars. So we have a cheeky little universe theme. Now here's the thing. I think the pre-chorus is absolutely beautiful. I'm going to play a little clip for you. Like the vocals within this pre-chorus I think are really top notch. And I will admit the chorus itself, the repetition of the ma 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 is very catchy and has a lot of potential, but I'm just not in love with the rest of the song. So for me, I'm gonna go ahead and put this into YG's Dungeon. Now let's talk about Drippin and their song Villain from their third mini album. There's so many third mini albums. So Villain is a song with a groovy electric bass line and minimal beats. Seungbi also says that the song expresses strong passion in order to reach a goal. I'd argue it's simply about love. I kind of agree. You know, at least being so enamored by someone that, you know, you're so determined to get their attention. I was going to make like a BAP power comparison because they say, I got the power. And then I was like, that's a little bit of a stretch. But well, I don't, Irregardless, this is a nice song, I will admit, but I'm just not really drawn to it, so I'm gonna go ahead and put it into Not My Cup of Tea. Last but not least, we have Pentagon and their comeback with Feeling Like, which comes from their mini album Invite You. You got me feeling like. According to Seungbi again, they're always there to give us the PR details. This is an addictive pop and R&B song that uses the Greek myth of Pygmalion and Galatea to express the feelings of awakening and pleasure while capturing Pentagon's new way of loving. So I googled this myth and it seems that Pygmalion was a little bit of a misogynist and vowed to remain celibate. So he carved this woman out of ivory, his ideal woman, and then he prayed to Aphrodite, who then turned that woman into a real woman. And then they had like kids and shit. I don't fucking know. I'm no historian. You know, granted, the story is probably like pretty cute and romantic if you don't like look too much into it. The idea of creating something and it's so perfect that you fall in love with it. It kind of reminds me of this song, I Knew I Loved You Before I Met You. And the lyrics go, I think I dreamed you into life. You know, I get it. It's super dreamy. In the song, they say, my gallery only galatea. So I tried to make sense of this, like how this ties into the myth, because looking into the lyrics personally, I couldn't really find any other, you know, references to this myth. So I'm wondering if this line in particular just kind of refers to her being art itself. She's his gallery, his galatea, you know, he dreamed her into life, shall we say. But I don't know, so let me know what you think of that. If you think there's other ways that this song ties into the myth. Either way, the song's really nice and I did enjoy the accompanying choreography. And as of right now, I think I would put it into second gen vibes, but I do, you know, it has potential. I think it could grow on me. I knew I loved you before I met you. I think I knew. So that is basically it for the review portion of this video. Now we're going to move on to my monthly playlist, which is just songs that I've been listening to, whether or not they were actually released this month, just to share with you some songs that I would recommend. And I actually created a playlist. It's literally called The Monthly Playlist. YG Don't Sue Me. You can go follow it. I'm going to be updating it monthly. So the first song we have, of course, is Dreams Come True by aespa. Si Una Vez by Selena is, this is my most played song of this month. Didn't remember this song. I don't even remember how I came to remember this song. This song is just so beautiful and just so full of passion. She basically says, you know, if at one time I said that I loved you, I take it back. If at one time I said I loved you, you know, I don't know what I was thinking. I was crazy. And that lyric in particular, that part in particular is so beautiful. And then I also, you know, honestly, there's a lot of Selena songs. I made this playlist as well. The live version of this song, the way she says it, I'll show you. I don't know what to say about Dessert. I never liked this song. Even now, like the first like screams at the beginning is so terrible to my ears. Then you hear like some parts of the song is just like so much noise and but I love it. I love it. I can totally picture Hyena's I'm Not Cool choreography to this. Let's place them together. Of course, we have Wadada by Kepler. Paradise by the Dashboard Light. Okay, this was before he passed away, by the way. I was just on a Meatloaf kick. Like, I'd do anything for love, but I won't do that. Paradise by the Dashboard Light. Those are actually the only two songs. I just remember the song from when I was really younger and I hated it back then, but somehow I grew to really like it. I always thought this song was so sweet, to be honest, because the lyrics literally say like, will you love me? Will you love me forever? Do you need me? Will you never leave me? And then he says, I swear I will love you to the end of time. But then he goes, now I'm praying for the end of time. I always thought that was actually super sweet, you know, because like showed the extent he would go to like spend the rest of his life with her. When I was younger, it made sense. Do It Like This by P1 Harmony, Tattoo by Alexa, Red-Blooded Woman. I was watching a TV show and it popped up and I remembered this song. How Do by Big Bang, the acoustic version. What can I say? This is the song that got me into K-pop. I watched Encanto. So I was watching Euphoria and there was a hyperpop song that was playing. And I tried to listen to the hyperpop song. It was a little too much for me. But then I remembered Sugar Crash and it ended up on my playlist. Laying Low, Smiley. This song, this song came to me so randomly. I was watching a TikTok and this guy was like, how rare is your body? And he's like, 7% of people have their tongues tied or something. And I didn't give a fuck, but I was like, wait a minute, that like, it rings a bell. So then I Googled the lyrics and this song came up and I've been obsessed with it. And yeah, thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video with friends you don't have. You can also join my channel members by clicking the join button next to the subscribe button. These are the lovely individuals who help support my channel on a monthly basis. It honestly means the world to me. Thank you so much. As that's for me. I'm gonna get going, but I'll see you guys next time. Oh, also, let me know if we should add a tier where it's like you liked the song at first, but then you ended up not liking it as much. And what would you name that tier? Because I recognize there's a lot of songs where I'm like, oh, this is amazing, totally big booty bop, but then like the next day I'm like, eh.